Hello to everyone. Today we are going to talk about punctuation and some of its basic rules. Let's start by the period or full stop. We use the full stop or period at the end of a full sentence. A full sentence might be a short one such as tomorrow I die, period, or a long one. Tomorrow I die and today I want to tell the world what happened and thus perhaps free my soul from the horrible weight which lies upon it. So that depends on the grammar itself. We also use a period with abbreviations. Some abbreviations never take a full stop, such as BBC, CIA or UN, and some of them always take a full stop. For instance, when we say etc., for example, or that is to say. And depending on whether you use British or North American English, you will see that some titles, for example, in British English do not take a full stop, but they do in American English. Now with AM or PM, we do insert periods for AM and PM in British English, but not in North American English, and in these cases we capitalize them or not. We capitalize the letters or not. Let's talk about the comma. We use a comma to separate items in a list, such as he was tall, comma, dark, and handsome, and we may choose not to insert a comma before the last item. With coordinating conjunctions such as and, but, so, or, that is, these coordinating conjunctions are joining independent clauses. Remember that independent clauses are clauses which can stand on their own. So with these conjunctions we must use a comma. When we want to insert non-essential information, normally with an adverb or a linking phrase at the beginning, then we also have to insert a comma. Look at this example. Apparently, comma, he's been suffering from depression for several years. Or non-essential information at the beginning of a sentence, and this is the typical case of non-defining relative clauses. Look at this last example. Yakutsk, which is in northern Siberia, comma, has the coldest winters of any city in the world. Colon. We use a colon to introduce examples, details, or explanations. Have a look at these sentences. You have two choices: finish the work today or lose the contract. That's because we have one goal: for you to consider your website a success. John has all the ingredients: minced clams, milk, potatoes, and onions. So what comes after the colons is the amplified, let's say, explanation of that which you see before. So two choices: finish the work today or lose the contract. Those are your choices. One goal: for you to consider your website. So you go from the from the general to the most more particular items. Yes? A semicolon. A semicolon is similar to a full stop in the sense that they go at the end of a full sentence. Look at this example. My daughter is a teacher. There we have a full sentence. That is a clause which can stand on its own. My daughter is a teacher, my son is a doctor. But both ideas, the previous and the last idea, are some kind of connected, and this is what the semicolon does. They connect to apparently unconnected ideas, but they are connected. Richard always slept with the light on. He was afraid of the dark. So he was afraid of the dark explains why Richard always slept with the light on. You don't need to use conjunctions or linking phrases after semicolon. However is the exception. An apostrophe. Use apostrophes in contractions, such as she doesn't really know it, to show possession. But here with possessions, be careful. What happens when the word ends with an S? Well, with proper names, you just keep the original S and then you add an apostrophe and an extra S. Look at the example we met at Lewis's house. With plural nouns, you only need to insert the apostrophe and no extra S. We met at my parents' house, therefore S apostrophe. What happens when we want to make a letter plural? Well, we also use an apostrophe and an S. How many M's are there in the word community? A hyphen. Use hyphen to create compound words. Use hyphens with compound words, normally with adjectives. Compounds made of numbers are always hyphenated. Look at the first example. My 8-year-old boy loves reading. Look at the following examples. Old furniture salesman, off the peg suits. That is a word which would normally not take the function of an adjective, that is noun, for example, yes, or in old furniture, the example here being a compound word made up of an adjective and a noun, that is words which are not normally take the function of an adjective and need to take the function of an adjective will take a hyphen. We also use hyphens with prefixes: pre, ex, self, and non. Pre-Enlightenment era, ex-wife, anti-European, non-smokers, or prefixes before numbers, post-1950 politics. Dashes. A dash creates a break in a sentence and is usually it's usually present in more informal writing. There is a kind of break between two main clauses. Look at the first example. The film was very informative. I learned a great deal. So there we have two independent clauses, that is, clauses which can stand on their own, but somehow there is a break between the two of them, and so we can use a dash here. One thing's for sure, he doesn't want to go. That's another example. Now, a dash can also mark extra information embedded in the sentence. That is, information which doesn't fit well with the flow of the sentence. A toad's skin is dry and bumpy, not like the frog's soft and smooth skin. So somehow the second part doesn't fit well with the grammar of the first one, and that's why we use a hyphen. Instead of a hyphen, of course, you can use a comma, and both options are correct. Quotation marks or quotation speech. We have single and double. We use single quotation marks when we want to express irony, sarcasm, or skepticism. Paying 100 euros for luxury economy was not a good idea. So luxury economy is here used sarcastically. We also use single quotation marks for quotes within quotes. Mary told the teacher, "I saw Mark at the playground and he said to me, Billy started the fight, and I believed him. So we have a quote inside a quote here. Billy started the fight fits inside this I saw and I believed him quotation. And we also use single quotation marks when we want to refer to words as words. What's this? So referring to the word itself and not the idea, the concept behind the word. Millennium is a difficult word to spell. Double quotation marks are preferred when we want to quote what somebody said. Don't go outside, Coma. She said. She asked, Coma, are you happy to be home? So this is very important to remember. We separate the quoted material from the rest with a comma. And when we, in the cases of example number 1, don't go outside, the comma and exclamation marks and periods, they fall inside the speech mark. That is, when she said, he said is part of what comes next. Parentheses. We use parentheses to add